Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
When Nomar Mazara was called up to the Rangers in mid-April, the plan was for him to stay with the big club for a couple of weeks. Let's just say that plan has changed. Baseball's youngest player has shown the ability to be an everyday player. And with each tape measure home run he hits, the big chill shows that he plans to be in the Rangers lineup for a long time to come. Tonight, Nomar and the Rangers take on the 2014 AL Cy Young Award winner, Corey Kluber and the Indians. And it's next on Fox Sports Southwest. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is presented by high-speed internet from AT&T. It is another gorgeous night for baseball in Cleveland. The Rangers and Indians, game 2 of our 3-game series from Progressive Field. And hello again, everybody. Welcome into the booth. I'm Dave Raymond, alongside America's favorite baseball analyst, Tom Grieve. As look, it's all fun and games right now. Rangers playing great baseball, having a lot of fun, and 1 game back of Boston for the best record in the American League. All that said, the real show lately, Tom, has been Nomar Mazara.
A big chill, no doubt about it. He's playing excellent baseball. He was the Rookie of the Month in April. And in the month of May, he's probably played better than he did in April. His average might not be quite as high, but the power is starting to come, and we're talking long-range power. He's hit a 491-foot home run. Last night it was 448 into the trees in center field. Have an excellent month of May with a solid average. He's knocked in 17 runs. Has a chance to back up the month of April with a similar award in the month of May. He's playing great baseball right now.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of the outfield as well. Carries himself with such great confidence. And it will be interesting to see tonight, not that he hasn't done it before, but he faces a very good one in Corey Kluber. How will the rookie deal with the great right-hander for the Cleveland Indians? We're looking forward to it tonight. Stay with us. A lot more coming up before the Rangers and the Indians from Progressive Field. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today during the Great American Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T High-Speed Internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. By Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Rangers and Indians ready to go in game 2. We'll have the starting lineups and the first pitch coming up in just a moment. Set to go tonight, game 2 of our 3-game series. Rangers and Indians. Rangers trying to keep their hot streak going. Let's take a look at their starting lineup tonight, presented by Southwest Airlines. At 30 and 21, Bannister going with Jerks and Perfart leading it off at second base. Ian Desmond in center field. Prince Fielder, the DH, bats third. Then it's Beltre, Nomar Mazara, and Mitch Moreland in the middle of the lineup. Elvis Andrus, Jared Hoying gets the start in left. Brian Holiday with another day behind the plate will round it out batting ninth. And he'll be opposed by Corey Kluber.
Yeah, Corey Kluber having a solid season. His record is under 500, but his other numbers are very solid. As usual, a lot of strikeouts. He was the Cy Young Award winner in 2014. His 581 strikeouts since the start of 2014 is first in the American League. So he's one of the elite pitchers in the American League, a strikeout pitcher who is very tough to hit. 230 opponents batting average the last couple of years, and it's at 233 right now. That's pretty much what you get. A 230 average against Corey Kluber.
All right, keeps it in the yard, and he gets a lot of swings and misses with the changeup and that slider. Look at the defense behind him tonight. Marlon Byrd in left field, Rajai Davis in center, and Lonnie Chisenhall will be in right field. On the left side of the infield, a little bit of a different look. Jose Ramirez at third, along with Francisco Lindor. Jason Kipnis and Mike Napoli on the right side, and Yan Gomes doing the catching again tonight for the Indians. Terry Francona ejected last night. First ejection of the year for any Indian yesterday. He's a little upset early on, and you might understand why. He got away from the Indians in a hurry yesterday. Rangers plating all 9 of their runs in the first 4 innings. Part of it, lately anyway, for the Rangers has been Jurickson. Profar really doing a great job in the leadoff spot, and in particular in the first inning. Sits safely in every game in which he has been in the lineup. These last 4 days, in the last 3 days, he's come up with a single in the first inning. Profar getting the starts at second base as Rougned Odor continues to serve his suspension handed down by Major League Baseball. A little roller over to the right side to the second baseman Kipnis. One away.
Kluber's coming off a couple of really good starts. I think any time early in the year where you go into Boston and pitch a good game, the way that they've pounded the ball shows how you're throwing the baseball yourself. 7 innings, 5 hits, only a couple of runs against the Red Sox. And then his last start, a win at Chicago, 1 earned run, 7 1/3, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. He had a couple of starts early where he struggled, but lately he's throwing the ball great.
And one of those guys who, when he gets into that groove, when he gets comfortable, is as dominant as any pitcher right now in the American League. Ian Desmond at average just a smidge below 300 now as he works on an 8-game hitting streak. It's 1-1. Desmond not only getting on a lot lately, but he's been hitting the ball with power. He's been a great force up at the top of the order. This 8-game hitting streak, he's 16 for 37 and has seen his average jump 30 points. Takes one on the corner. It's 2-2. Of course, Desmond joined the Rangers with the intent of playing primarily left field. He has since taken over the center field job. 2-2 is a little tight.
Kluber is one of those top of the rotation guys that gives the bullpen a rest. Generally, he's averaged almost 230 innings in each of the last 2 seasons.
This one shot out to right field. Chisenhall able to get underneath it. 2 away. So quiet start here in the first inning as now Prince Fielder will get his hacks.
It's funny, last year Kluber was 9-16, but his overall numbers were very similar as the numbers he put up as the Cy Young Award winner. Opponent's batting average was actually better last year. Strikeouts per 9 innings about the same. Walks per 9 innings were actually down a little bit. His ERA was a run higher, but it must have had a lot to do with the support he got. With the numbers, as you look at them, it doesn't add up to a 9-16 record. Kevin Millwood won the ERA championship here one year and I think went 9-11. So wins and losses have a lot to do with the defense behind you and the runs that your team scores.
1-1 now to Prince Fielder. Yeah, no doubt. 16 losses coming off a Cy Young season. He led the American League with those 16 losses. And yet those hardly tell you the story, what kind of a pitcher he is. Fielder pops it up. Playable for the catcher Gomes. And it's a 1-2-3 start. This one for Corey Kluber. Colby Lewis will get his look at the Indians when we come back. Top of the first inning. Now Colby Lewis will take a look at this lineup from the Cleveland Indians. They started off with Carlos Santana in the DH spot. Jason Kipnis at second base. Francisco Lindor, the dazzling shortstop, bats third. In the heart of the order, it'll be Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and then Marlon Byrd. Lonnie Chisenhall, Yan Gomes, the catcher, and Rajai Davis with great speed in center field rounds things off.
Colby Lewis's numbers on the season. He's 4-0 with excellent numbers. 1 walk in his last 24 innings. He got the win in his last start. It's the only start where he didn't pitch at least 6 innings. And he'd come off a stretch of 5 starts of 7 innings. Off to a good start today with the bouncer to first. In that start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 8 hits and 6 runs. But the Rangers came back, scored a lot of runs, and got Colby a deserved victory. He's left games with leads several times this year, only to have the bullpen falter. So he was due for a win like the last one he got, where he only pitched, I say only for him, 5 innings in a season where he's gone at least 6 innings in every other start and had a stretch of 5 straight starts of 7 innings.
Of course, tonight starts it with 1 pitch, 1 out, and goes right after Jason Kipnis with strike 1. And that's one of the things that is so much fun to watch with Colby Lewis, is the way he challenges hitters, averaging 15 pitches per inning, among the lowest in the American League. So he's not going to nibble a whole lot. Very clear idea what he wants to do with each hitter, and he just goes about getting it done. All right, he's 1-1. And he's ahead of Kipnis, a ball and 2 strikes. Jason Kipnis in at 270 for the year. 7 home runs. And it'll stay 1-2. Sun got him.
Yeah, we saw yesterday with this 6 o'clock start time that balls thrown from third base toward first base can cause a problem for the guy trying to catch the ball. Josh Tomlin had a hard time getting a throw from third base. It went by him, and a runner took an extra base. And even though Mike Napoli caught the ball, you could tell he was really struggling to catch a throw from third base yesterday. It's kind of what the first baseman's looking at.
1-2 to Kipnis. And he'll turn it foul again. Yeah, and we can show you that camera angle, and you can see that this where the sun is. But it's a lot different when you're looking at that with the glove held in front of you and a ball coming at you about 90+ miles per hour. A curveball misses. It's 2-2 on Kipnis. Kipnis collared yesterday in his 3 trips, coming off an all-star season last year, his second all-star appearance for the American League. And it's a full count. Right now Kipnis batting second, and he is second on this team in RBIs, second in hits, third in runs, and he hits one to center field. But Desmond ranging several steps to his right, and there are 2 away. Well, good opportunity to take a look at the Rangers defense, delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Hoying getting the start in left field today. Ian Desmond, Nomar Mazara in their regular spots. It's Beltre and Andrews on the left side, Jurickson Profar and Mitch Moreland on the right, and Brian Holiday, his 3rd straight start behind home plate. Two out, and Francisco Lindor takes ball 1. One and 1 to Lindor. .311 average, 4 home runs, batting 3rd for the Indians, and apparently thinking about bunting his way on. Sun casting some shadows over the left side of the infield. Obviously the pitcher still out there in the sunlight to the hitter in the shadows. High fly ball right to Desmond. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Colby Lewis. So he's matching zeros with Kluber in the early going. Middle game of this 3-game series. I'm Dave Raymond with Tom Grieve. We'll see the heart of the order. Oh, there's the Hall of Famer Eric Nadel. You can see that sun off the top of the head. Matt Hicks leaning back in the shadows. That sun has been an issue for them. To hear them tell the story, they could hardly see the ball in the first 3 innings yesterday. So not just hazardous for the guys on the field, Tag, but hazardous even for our own radio crew.
Yeah, that could be a problem. They need to figure out a way to go with some sunglasses. That's what we tell the players to do. Although it's tough for the first baseman to have flip down sunglasses anyway. Not many players wear the flip down sunglasses anymore. They wear sunglasses that are regular sunglasses. In the old days, the fielders would have sunglasses that when you saw that you might need a pair of sunglasses, you flipped them down. Otherwise, you kept them up and watched the game without the sunglasses. Today's player, a lot of them, I've seen catchers occasionally wear sunglasses behind the plate.
And so that look right there, right? Napoli has him just resting on the bill of his cap. That's the problem with not going with the flip shades. You've got to commit one way or the other. I mean, he can't make that adjustment mid-play.
No, you couldn't wear the flip shades at first base. You wouldn't have time to flip them down. It was mostly middle infielders and outfielders that would wear the flip down variety. And I got to think Knapp's got those shades on, but he's saying right now I've got a better chance to see the ball without them. Otherwise, he'd put them on. Got them just in case.
Beltre starts the second inning with a base hit to left, and now Nomar Mazara. And it's 1-1. Mazara hitting .309, 9 home runs, and he hit one yesterday about 6,000 feet.
Well, yesterday we said that when Dave went 438. That was measured the old way. Turned out after the game, measured the new way, it was 448, closer to 450. And that is what it looked like when it went into the top of that tree, which serves as the hitter's background in center field.
It just disappeared on everybody.
Yeah, right at the top of the picture into that tree. So he followed up one at 491 with 448.
1-2 pitch. And that one a little bit in.
I can't remember what the one in California was. It was probably something between 430 and 440. So in a very short period of time in his rookie year, he's hit 9 home runs, and 4 or 5 of them have gone well over 420 feet.
2-2 from Kluber, and Mazara will see another. Today in the dining room before the ball game, a bunch of scouts buzzing over that home run yesterday, and all sharing their stories of trying to figure out where it went. You know, a lot of them like, well, I didn't see, I couldn't see where it went.
Well, we had perfect view of it, but old-time scouts that have watched games in Cleveland over the years would have to go back to Jim Thome and say, well, I remember Thome hitting him up there, but not too many other people have hit him up there. I suppose Manny Ramirez must have hit a couple up there. Albert Bell, maybe. But this is a good challenge for Nomar against a guy like Kluber, who he's never seen before, who throws a nice changeup and a strikeout slider. If you haven't seen that stuff before as a rookie, you're in a pretty tough situation when you consider he strikes out more than a batter per inning anyway. And those are veteran hitters. Extremely tough for a rookie.
2-2. And he'll roll it down to first. Napoli will go to second to get the 1 out, and Mazara able to beat it out. Safe via the fielder's choice. So he replaces Beltre on the bases. 1 away. Well, they were really working him in the entire at bat.
Yeah, and he fouled off one really good slider, hung in there. One thing he doesn't do with 2 strikes is he doesn't try to pull the ball or hit a home run. He has more of a 2-strike approach where he's trying to put the ball in play. You know, occasionally he'll get jammed, but when you make a mistake, you've already seen what he can do when you do that. Make a good pitch, fine. You're going to get him out. You're going to get a lot of hitters out if you're Corey Kluber and you make good pitches. The world hits 230 against him.
Well, Mitch Moreland comes in at 216 and shoots this one out into left field, tracked down by Marlon Byrd. 2 away.
Well, stroked nicely, but right at Marlon Byrd in left field.
2 away for Elvis Andrus. Had a good note today on Elvis in the game notes, talking about his career batting average against the Cleveland Indians. 374 lifetime against the Indians in 51 games, and that's a smidge better than Nomar Garciaparra. It's the best ever of any player in history against the Indians as he takes a strike. So a little better than Garciaparra, a little better than Earl Webb, Rod Carew, and Ty Cobb, who, as I understand it, was a pretty good hitter.
I don't care what the category is. If you're ahead of those guys, that's pretty good.
Man.
And it's a lot of at-bats, too. It's not like it's 15 or 20 at-bats.
It's this ball hard but foul. Count 0-2. Well, how about our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact tonight? Brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. There you go. 374 average lifetime, which technically is the same as Nomar Garciaparra, but he is whatever it would be, several 10,000ths of a point better.
Yeah, and that's 195 at bats. That's at least about a third of a season to hit that high.
Mazara running, and this one off the handle foul, so we'll have to return to first.
Thinking there is you've got a batter up there behind in the count against a pitcher who's really tough to hit. Maybe he tries to put him away with a pitch that's a slider down and away, a good pitch for a runner, bad pitch for a catcher to throw on. And then the other side of it is, if you do get thrown out, you got Elvis hitting 370 in this ballpark, leading off the next inning, which is not terrible. And if you get into scoring position, Elvis is hitting 390 with men in scoring position.
0-2, not running this time, and Andrews foul tips that into the mid of Yan Gomes to end the threat. No runs, a hit, the man left. We go to the bottom of the second. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today during the Great American Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas. From the shores of Lake Erie here in Cleveland, Ohio, bottom of the second inning, Mike Napoli takes strike one from Colby Lewis. Scoreless start to this one tonight, after the Rangers put a 9 spot on the board yesterday on their way to a 9-2 win. Napoli at .234, but tops on the team with 11 homers and rolls it to third base. A lot of time for Adrian Beltre, and he'll gun down Napoli for out number 1.
And Napoli's not hitting for average, but he's hitting for power. Top 10 in home runs, top 10 in RBIs. Good addition to the team, and as Ranger players and fans know, he is one terrific teammate and a great guy in the clubhouse. It's not a coincidence that it seems like every single year he's playing in the postseason for somebody.
I was going to ask you that. I mean, he's I guess what you would just call a proven winner. He's been in the postseason 7 of the last 9 years.
Yep. He's got a winning personality. He's a winning teammate. And when the chips are down, he can hit and get big hits for you. Boy, he had that one year he had the big year for the Rangers. It seemed like the last 2 months of the year, when you needed a home run, he hit it. Yeah, he just killed the Anaheim Angels. We go into Anaheim, and just like Vladimir Guerrero did to them when he went back there, Knapp did the same thing. And he was one of the better fan favorites that we've had over the last 5 or 6 years in Texas.
Jose Ramirez, a little roll out to second base. 2 quick outs near the second inning. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and a whole lot more. You watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. 2 away from Marlon Byrd. He homered yesterday and takes strike 1 from Colby Lewis. As well as days yesterday, the Rangers fans happy. Holland pitched well. Team won easily. And even in a loss, you know, the bad guys, those that did damage, they were the good guys. Former Rangers.
There you go. And there wasn't anybody on base when they did the damage, too.
2 quick strikes to Byrd. And Lewis gets him swinging for his first strikeout of the night. 2 perfect innings for Colby Lewis. Scoreless game to the 3rd. this Friday, presented by Dairy Max. Fans using the online coupon code Fireworks can get upper reserve tickets to the Friday night Rangers-Mariners game for just $14. Go to TexasRangers.com to get your tickets today. Well, no fireworks here in the early going. 2 scoreless innings for both starters, and Corey Kluber will deal to Jared Hoying to start things in the 3rd. Hoying 1 for 8 since joining the big club. Yet another Ohio native getting to play in front of family and friends, and he sends this one into right field, a base hit. Yeah, beautiful. Hoying with his 2nd big league hit and gets a nice round of applause.
I can hear him yelling too, just like they were yelling yesterday for the kids. Playing in front of a lot of friends and family. Derek Holland as well. He had a pretty good pitch, looked like a changeup sinking down and away. His 2nd big league hit comes against a major league pitcher who's very difficult to hit. That's a nice one to have in your book.
Lead man on in the 3rd inning for the Rangers. And now Brian Holiday. Holiday had a nice game yesterday and hammers this ball to left field toward the corner and gone. 2nd home run of the year for Brian Holiday, and the Rangers lead 2-0.
It sounds like a broken record, and it was pretty much all of last year that we sounded that way, and it's all of this year too. The catchers just keep coming through. It doesn't matter which one's playing. Brian Holiday had a nice line drive to center field for a sacrifice fly yesterday, 1st pitch hitting. And this time he's looking fastball all the way. He gets a fastball down and in and rides it right out of the ballpark. It's just amazing the way these guys, when they play, the production that they have. Bobby Wilson, every time he plays, he's in one of the best grooves he's ever been in as a hitter. And Brian Holiday's caught 3 straight games. Bobby Wilson had a pretty good workload. And Jeff Bannister, I think, is just trying to keep everybody fresh. Felt like Bobby would benefit by having another day off to get even stronger, and he's very happy the way Brian's playing. So it's not like you say, well, I've got one really good catcher and one backup, and you don't like to play the backup because there's such a drop off. It really doesn't matter who you play behind the plate. The expectations are that they're going to do a great job, and that's pretty much the way it's going.
Boy, has it ever. 2-0 Rangers, and Profar dealing with a 1-2 count. Makes it high. Well, our TXU Energy power player to watch tonight.
Let's see. I picked Brian Holiday for it. I don't know who it is, but that's kind of who I was going to pick.
Let's change. Yeah, on the fly. Let's make it. It's a game of adjustments. Well, we'll stick with Jurickson Profar.
Okay.
Because of these numbers. And he's done very well against the Cleveland Indians. Half of his hits have gone for extra bases. 381 career average, although it limited at bats against the Indians. He has done a nice job, and yesterday was productive again. Base hit in the 1st inning, scored a run. Making Kluber work a little bit here in the 3rd. It's a full count.
Yeah, Kluber's not a guy that has been getting touched up for a lot of home runs. He's given up 5 in 66 innings coming into the game. There's an assortment of pitches that can strike you out in a sinking fastball. He wouldn't appear to be the kind of guy prone to giving up a lot of home runs.
Profar hammers this one, but foul.
Turned on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. We showed it the other day. First major league at bat was in Cleveland, and he hit a home run, and it wasn't one that scraped the back of the wall. Went about 10 rows back toward the foul line down the right field line.
Profar chases strike 3, and he's the 2nd strikeout victim of the game today. Time for a visit into the studio. Dana Larson standing by with a Chevy game break.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Mama said there'd be days, and those do happen.
Well, the AL West is playing some pretty good baseball right now. The Astros are knocking around the Diamondbacks. Beat them easy yesterday. They're ahead. I believe they're ahead again today too. George Springer had a home run, a double, and a single in 4 innings.
The Astros leading the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 9th, 8-5. And we just got that update. Mariners just laying the wood to the Padres today.
3 teams in the West, the Rangers, the Astros, and the A's, all have 3-game winning streaks. And Seattle and Los Angeles won yesterday and are winning today. So AL West on a pretty good roll last 4 or 5 days.
Rangers leading this one on the Brian Holiday homer, the 2-1 to Desmond right in there. Desmond flied out to right field in the first, 0 for 1. But all the talk of Nomar Mazara, our pregame feature today, and the banter about the great production from the catchers. Don't forget Desmond. He's been hotter than really anybody. An 8-game hitting streak. Excellent numbers on that streak. 432 average. And you can take it out a lot further. You know, you go to the last 38 games, he's hitting over 350. 2-2.
I think after 2 months, if you had to say who has been the Rangers' best player, I hate to have to say pick one over the other, but I think a lot of people would say Ian Desmond has been the Rangers' best player 2 months into the season.
Now, how about that? Only Xander Bogaerts with more hits in the month of May in the American League.
.48 hits in the month of May. I mean, that factors out over a full season to 300 hits almost. We were talking about the great young shortstops in the game today in both the American League and the National League. Boy, there's 7, 8, 9 young shortstops who are frontline everyday players. Boy, Bogaerts is one of them.
Desmond takes strike 3, 2 away in the inning. And that is the 3rd strikeout today for Kluber.
He's trying to throw it in, and he gets it a little bit in and got the call.
Now Desmond was headed to first. I think he might argue the merit of that pitch.
I think the hitter would say that he should be at first base right now. The pitcher will say, hey, I earned that one. It's close enough.
Prince Fielder takes ball 1. Fielder popped up in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
And the umpire has the task of calling a pitch coming 93 miles an hour with sinking and tailing. Is it an inch inside or an inch right on the outside corner? Pretty tough to call.
You know,
you have to give him a little bit of leeway, I think.
Well, and to that point, you and I were having a discussion the other day about Ted Williams, and he talked in his hitting philosophy of, you know, those little segments of the plate that he defined by ball widths. I find that amazing. The guys can be that discerning with, as you say, that
some guys can. Ted could. There's a lot of guys that can't. Ted also, if Ted Williams took that pitch, chances are it would have been called a ball.
Bouncer over to the right side. The shortstop Lindor make the play, and it ends the inning. But the Rangers draw first blood tonight once again. It's the Rangers catcher Brian Holiday with a 2-run blast. Time for our Kubota power stats. And Colby has loved pitching on the road. Look at those numbers. The 173 earned run average. And that's 6th best in the American League. Very stingy 202 average. And there's the first base hit, first base runner tonight for the Indians as Lonnie Chisenhall sneaks one through. Now Yan Gomes. Indians on a 10-game homestand. They have dropped 3 of the first 4. And when that happens, people start poking around looking for the weaknesses. And one of the stories lately has been that low batting average right there for Yan Gomes at 175. A guy who in his career has hit considerably better than that. And Terry Francona frank with reporters about the struggles of Yan Gomes, saying he can see it. He's wearing it. He's walking around. You can see the guy is struggling and is all too aware of it. Gomes last year hit 231. A couple years ago, 278 average. When he came up in 2013, Gomes played in 88 games and he almost hit 300 that year at 294 in his rookie season. So Francona believing there's a lot more there than the 175 that he has posted here in the first nearly third of the season. Strikes me though, the story, Tank, strikes me is not that dissimilar from Prince Fielder. Low average, well below what one would expect, and yet Gomes 6 home runs, 25 RBIs. Just as Fielder has chipped in 27 RBIs. So they found ways to be productive despite their slumping average.
Yeah, I think the one thing you would have to say about Gomes is that his average will pick up. He's got a little bit of a track record, and if he continues to provide the same kind of power, he's got a chance to hit 15 to 20 home runs, knock in 70 runs, and provided he works well with the pitching staff and does a good job behind the plate, those are pretty good numbers nowadays for a catcher.
This one off the end of the bat, foul. Count stays 2-2. Yesterday Gomes was in the 9th spot in the order. Went 0 for 4, hit into a double play that ended the game. Today moves up into the 8th spot in the order. Rajai Davis and his speed at the bottom of the order. 2-2 popped up. Mazzara waiting for it to come down. And that's out number 1.
Yesterday Gomes hit 2 balls to the warning track in right field high that he just got good wood on, but just got underneath it. That's kind of the same thing right there. Hit that ball solidly, just hit it straight up in the air. So it's not like he's waving at pitches in the dirt, swinging at high fastballs out of the strike zone. He's taking some decent swings. He's just a tick off right now.
With 1 away, here's Rajai Davis. He was in the leadoff spot yesterday, and he and Carlos Santana have sort of shared those duties. Santana leads off. Davis typically will end up at the bottom of the order. Have his speed perhaps setting the table as he swings and hits this one hard down the left field line, but foul. A whole 0-2. Well, 8 of the 9 batters so far tonight. Colby Lewis able to get that first pitch over for strike 1, or at least get the Indians to offer at it. Big curveball fouled off. That's one of the, still in this age of all the analytics and many ways in which we can parse numbers, that's still one of the real simple, straightforward indicators of how a guy's throwing. Can you get strike one? And certainly underscoring the way Lewis has thrown so far today. Just the one hit. Lewis getting a little extra rest between starts this time. He gets Davis to foul off another one. Did you ever have any designs of get behind the plate? Did that ever appeal to you as a player?
I was a catcher, probably half the time in high school going into the draft, but no, after that I never got any designs of doing it.
Davis with a base hit to left field. 2 men on for the Indians. And we'll see the top of the order here.
Davis got a slider down and away. Had a good swing at it. That's almost the same slider that Marlon Byrd swung at twice to strike out. The ones to Marlon might have been a little more outside than that. But Davis looked like he was seeing the ball pretty good in that at bat. Stayed with that slider. Hit it well into left field.
Rangers at double play depth with Santana stepping in. Yesterday turned a season high 4 double plays in the victory. And there's strike one to Carlos Santana. Rangers have turned 71 double plays this season, which is 13 more than the next highest team in baseball. And that curve misses a little low. 1-1 to the Indian switch hitter. Well, Santana has been given a look over the years here at a number of different positions, and it just did not work out at catcher or at third or at first, and now he is their designated hitter, and he rolls this one weakly foul. As a DH, though, it appears that the power is improving a little bit for him. He's hitting more fly balls. And though you don't see a lot of designated hitters working that leadoff role, the Indians have done well with him in that spot. 11-6 in his first 17 games as a leadoff man. That one just a little bit tight. They do appeal it down to third base, but Manny Gonzalez said he didn't go. The 2-2. Lewis getting a tight spot here in the third inning. Chisenhall open with a base hit to left with one out. Davis singled to left as well. And there's a bouncer to first, and Moreland will be content to get the out at first base. Not much you could do. That high bounce took the double play opportunity away, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, you could try for second base to get the lead runner, but the safe thing is to get the easy out at first base, get that second out. Mitch knew that. Risk that throw to second to get one of the lead runners and hit the runner with a ball, and all of a sudden you're on the verge of a huge inning. Mitch has played over there long enough to know exactly what to do with the ball when he gets it.
Now, he's been going with the sunglasses, by the way, the whole time. We saw Napoli had him up on the bill of his cap, but Marlins used them all 3 of the first innings here. There's Kipnis. Oh for 3 yesterday, flied out to center back in the first inning tonight. And just the second time tonight Colby Lewis has gone ball 1 to a hitter. Now 2-0. Well, yesterday we had a little over 14,000 here, and I never heard nor did I see the legendary John Adams out there in left field pounding away on his drums. He's here tonight. And it's 2-1 now to Kipnis.
Yeah, the drum, I
there
believe,
he is.
Goes all the way back to the old ballpark.
I think he was late arriving yesterday. Kipnis pops it up into short left field. Hoying is there, and the inning is over. So Colby Lewis got in a little trouble, but gets right out of it. Rangers by 2. And the first 15,000 fans 14 and older will receive a Cole Hamels t-shirt jersey courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Albertsons. Get your tickets TexasRangers.com or 972 Rangers. It'll be this Sunday as we go to the 4th inning here in Cleveland, and strike 1 poured in there to Adrian Beltre. Great to be with you on this Tuesday night with Tom Grieve. I'm Dave Raymond from Progressive Field. The Rangers got a 2-0 lead. Brian Holiday's home run last inning, and that's been just about it. Both starters today worked around a handful of hits. 2-strike offering. Beltre hits it high in the air center field. Davis going back, but appears to have room. He does. And there's one away.
Hey, Adrian's been swinging the bat well. He's got a 6-game hitting streak after his line drive hit in the 2nd inning. He hit that ball solidly as well.
Let's take a look at the mini Let's Motor player profile. Nomar Mazara, as we know, the youngest player in baseball. And the graphic is only so big. He leads American League rookies in everything. including longest home run hit. He leads the world in that this year. A little pop up back to the mound is corralled by Kluber, and they're quickly 2 gone.
Now, Kluber's done a nice job in 2 straight at bats with Nomar, getting the ball in on his fist. Generally, early in the count like that, that's a ball that Nomar will take. That ball got way in on his fist. Don't see the pitcher catch many pop-ups, but that was one. If he didn't catch it, no one else was going to be able to get to it. Looked like a toss back to the pitcher from the catcher.
Yeah, it did, and it does seem that Kluber is very committed to a philosophy with Mazara. Strike 1 in there to Mitch Moreland. Flied out in the 2nd. It's been a struggle for Mitch lately. Average dipping to 215. And hits his ball hard but foul.
Yeah, we were talking about Mitch the other day. He's had a lot of balls like that where he's hit them 380 feet down the right field line foul, solidly hit balls. He's had a lot of balls that he's just gotten underneath and hit high fly balls to the outfield that he just missed.
Takes a breaking ball, lines this one to the gap right center field, and it gets down. So Moreland with a 2-out single in the 4th. And it will get Elvis Andrus to the plate.
Unfortunately, one of the hits Mitch has had was that big 3-run homer that he hit in Texas. That was basically a game winner. And so just like with Prince, Jeff Bannister is penciling the name in every day, and he's very confident that sooner or later these guys are going to get hot. And guys, you know, with guys with track records, you believe that because it makes sense. So if you start kind of tinkering with the lineup and taking days off and giving a guy a rest, not just every now and then, but frequently, then you might miss the time where he does get hot and not have him in the lineup. So you leave him in there and you say to yourself every day you print the lineup up, today's the day these guys are getting hot. You believe that, and one of these days that is going to be the day.
This one popped up. Foul territory, first base side, and Napoli manages to stay mostly upright as he heads down the steps. Couldn't quite get it.
Got his glove on it. Let's see. Yeah, he just lost his balance. There's nothing to grab onto there. I think if he got to the point where the railing was all the way across, it would have allowed him to brace himself and reach out and catch it. He didn't know exactly where he was. He knew those steps were there and didn't want to take a header down the tunnel.
So Andrus with new life. 1-1. He's in a hole. Oh, delayed steal by Moreland, or as that one got away from Gomes. He just couldn't find it. Good heads up play there by Moreland, who took that long look in just to make sure.
Yeah, I kind of turned my head on that one. I thought he'd caught the ball and was getting ready to throw it back to the pitcher. Next thing you know, the ball's rolling away from him and Mitch is at second base.
So man in scoring position for Elvis Andrus, who's one of the better in the American League at getting those guys home. Pass ball, maybe opening up an opportunity here.
Yeah, Elvis just waiting for him to get into scoring position. Now to go ahead and get his base hit.
Hitting .389 this year, with runners at second and or third. That's 4th best in the American League. Rangers got their 2 runs in the 3rd on the Holiday homer. Well, Blue out to shallow right field. Late start for Chisenhall, but he's able to get there, and the inning is over. Rangers leave a man in scoring position, but after 3.5, they lead by 2. Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Mazda. In every car we make, you'll see why driving matters. Last of the fourth inning. And it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Indians. Colby Lewis. It's right after Lindor with strike one. He's allowed just 2 hits so far today. Right-hander, 36 years old. And this is 11th start. Bouncer, second base.
And Lindor took a header.
Was right there. Boy, oh boy.
Third of the way down the line, he went head first into the baseline.
Oops.
Might cost him $1 in Kangaroo Court. We'll see what happened. He tripped on the bat. Don't see that very often.
He managed to dodge it for about 2 or 3 steps too, and it was bouncing around.
It was right there, boy. It stayed with him.
Finally got right in the spokes of that front wheel. Breaking ball to Mike Napoli, strike one. Napoli rolled out to third his first time up. Just a little bit in, 1-1. Dangerous right-handed hitter. Colby Lewis pitching well again tonight, as he has each of the first 10 times out. And he gets Napoli to pop up into right field. Zara measuring it. 2 away.
And Napoli sees a lot of pitches, almost 5 pitches per at bat. He swings and misses a lot, and he's got a good eye at the plate. It adds up to each at bat. See a number of pitches. 4.9 pitches per at bat. Tough guy to pitch to because he's got that kind of power and a pretty good eye.
Retired for the second time tonight, and now Jose Ramirez. Switch hitter playing third base tonight and really getting work all over the diamond this year. That bender misses. It's 1-1. The big story in Cleveland continues to be Michael Brantley and when they can expect to get him back. Had shoulder surgery and made his way back slowly during spring training, but has appeared in just 11 regular season games for the Indians. And is back on the disabled list. And they're not, I mean, they're just not real sure when they're going to get him back.
Well, he's one of the best all-around players in the American League. He's a terrific outfielder with a good arm. He's a base stealer, great base runner. He's got some power. Doesn't strike out very much, uses the whole field. When you lose a guy like that, that's just a huge blow to your offense. You can't make up for that.
Long look here for Lewis. And this fly ball out into left field, but Hoying able to get back underneath it. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Colby Lewis. We go to the 5th in Cleveland. Sponsored by T-Mobile. Here's your American League All-Star balloting. The early results: Lorenzo Cain and Trumbo and Trout. Right now, the leading outfielders. Xander Bogaerts having a heck of a first half for the Red Sox. No surprise, Big Papi, the DH. We go to the 5th inning tonight here in Cleveland. Jared Hoying will start things off. Boy, how many times do you see it, Tom? The guy who makes a routine catch in left field ends up leading off the bottom of the next inning.
About 11% of the time.
Right. Hoying singled his first time in and scored. From Fort Loramie, Ohio. That's about well, it's down on the border of Indiana. Small town, about 1,200 inhabitants, and that's where he grew up. And so he has a lot of those folks from Fort Loramie, Ohio, here tonight. He said, yeah, probably about half of them. Called strike 3 is that one crowded him.
That's an impossible combination. He threw a backdoor slider right on the outside corner of the pitch before that, and this is a backup sinking fastball that started out inside and came back and caught the inside corner. So that combination of pitches got Jared Hoying, and it would have gotten almost any left-hand hitter. Both pitches are virtually unhittable. He just pinpointed them right where he wanted to.
Gives Kluber 4 strikeouts tonight. And now Holiday fights off strike 1. Ryan Holiday with the 2-run homer in the 3rd. Holiday came in with the average of 239. It's 1-1. Now here's the AT&T high-speed replay. We take you back to the 3rd inning. Dinger. And that's it. That's all the scoring so far tonight. And this one served down into center field, where Rajai Davis got turned around momentarily. 2 out.
I think that was one of those line drives that came at him like a knuckleball. You can tell by the way he moved to his left and then back to his right at the same point. Sometimes you just hit the ball that doesn't have any spin on it, and it comes out at you like a knuckleball. And you can see him kind of going one way and coming back the other way. And probably feeling like he's pretty glad he was able to catch that ball.
2 away now. Top of the order for the Rangers is Profar steps in 0 for 2. But hits this ball hard out to right field. Chisenhall back, leaps, and it's gone.
Wow.
Well, a laser shot by Profar, his first home run of the year, and it makes it 3-0 Rangers.
Kluber giving up 5 home runs coming into this game, and he's got a couple today. And Jurickson pumped up going around the bases. About as quick as we've seen anyone get around the bases on a home run this year. Looked like he hit an off-speed pitch. Let's take a look. Yeah, that looked like a changeup on the outside part of the plate. He got just enough of the bat on it. Hit it slightly toward the end of the bat, but well enough to skip off the top of the wall, it looked like, and into the seats. Let's see where that ball hits. Yep, right off the ledging there on top of the wall. The Rangers doing kind of what they did yesterday on a smaller scale, adding on to a lead.
Yeah, 3-0 advantage now. Desmond in a hole, 0-2. He is flat out and struck out looking. Kluber gets him to chase one up in the zone. This one popped into right field. Chisenhall will be able to track this one down, and that one ends the inning. But Jurickson Profar adding to the Rangers lead. Halfway there, it's 3-0. $70 hot dog night is Wednesday, June 8th. Rangers taking on the Astros in a 7:05 game. Come on out to the ballpark and enjoy all the dollar hot dogs you can eat for just $1 each. Get your tickets today at Rangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. 3-0 Texas leads, and Marlon Byrd 0 for 1 stands in. Byrd struck out in the second inning. Only strikeout victim tonight for Colby Lewis.
That's the pitch he got him with right there too. Got ahead with a fastball, threw him a slider there, and swung and missed at it for strike 2. He threw it again for strike 3. See if he makes. That's the 3rd straight pitch he's seen right there.
The 0-2.
3rd straight slider, I should say. That one was a little farther outside. Didn't quite tempt Marlon. Marlon's had at least 20 home runs and at least 70 RBIs the last 3 years. Pretty steady. There it is.
Yeah, boy.
He swung and missed at that pitch 4 times today.
So 2 strikeouts tonight for Colby Lewis.
And the other side of it is those are probably 4 of the best sliders that Colby has thrown to right-hand hitters the whole game, and all 4 of them have come to Marlon Byrd. There's the only 2 strikeouts that Colby has. 4 swings and misses by Marlon Byrd. And be a few other right-hand hitters swing and miss if he throws the same pitches to them too.
And now a left-handed hitter, Lonnie Chisenhall. Well, Bird's a good guy to slow down. To your earlier point about his consistency over the years with home runs and RBIs. We saw him yesterday hit a homer. 1-1 on Chisenhall, who singled in the 3rd. One turned a bit foul.
Counting switch hitters, Cleveland has 5 guys batting left-handed. Napoli, Byrd, Gomes, and Davis are the right-hand hitters.
Colby's 1-2, and that one is way up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 5th all time in the Rangers organization in strikeouts, 6th in starts, 6th in wins and in innings. He has been a stalwart. In fact, when you think of pitchers with 10+ win seasons, only 5 guys who have done that on at least 5 occasions in a Rangers uniform, and Colby Lewis one of them. Fly ball center field, and Desmond is there. Let's check in again with Dana Larson back in the studios for a Chevy game break. Yeah, all right. Thanks, Dana. Let's see if he can get 2 more hits, Bogarts. Give him 50 for the month.
Man,
that is a big, big number.
you get that kind of offense out of your shortstop, and that goes a long way to having a great offense. They've got a lot of good young players in their lineup. And the guy leading the way in his last year is Big Papi. I gotta wonder if he hits 300 this year, hits 38 home runs, and knocks in 125 runs. If he comes back, I don't know how you retire the way he's playing right now.
No.
He's borderline MVP. If you can be a DH and be an MVP, he's got to be in the conversation for it right now. The way he's playing.
Bouncer right to Profar, and it completes another 1-2-3 inning for Colby Lewis. He has retired 8 in a row. Brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is $300 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Now, if a Ranger hits a home run during this inning, Oscar Rand of Dallas, Texas will win $300. But if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Oscar wins $25 grand. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Well, Prince fielder Adrian Beltre, Nomar Mazara in this 6th inning. The Rangers leading 3-0 against Corey Kluber. Cy Young Award winner in the American League 2 years ago. Kluber came back down to earth just a little bit last year, although really a fine season. And wobbled maybe for a start or two early this year, but seems to lately anyway have settled in.
Yeah, his numbers are solid this year, and one of the reasons they're solid is what he's done against the Tigers. Back at the end of April at Detroit, he went 8 innings, only gave up 1 run, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 10. Then 2 weeks later here, he shut him out on 5 hits. So he's pitched 17 innings against the Tigers, giving up 7 hits and 1 run. Without those 2 starts, his numbers wouldn't look quite as good.
Pulled foul by fielder. Prince 0 for 2 so far today.
A nice acquisition for Cleveland. You go back a ways, he was with the Padres and came over to Cleveland in kind of a complicated 3-way trade. Trade in which Cleveland got the best of it.
No doubt. 2-2 the count. That's one of those. I mean, he was well regarded. I mean, he was a high draft pick, 4th round by the Padres in 2007. Came out of Stetson University, where he played for the Hatters.
That's a great nickname,
isn't it? A little tight full count on fielder. Kluber, native of Birmingham, Alabama, but then went to Capel High School in the Metroplex, and then off to Stetson.
Watch out.
Oh, man. Well, that's why they put the netting up a little further in some ballparks, including back at Globe Life Park. They've extended it for that exact reason. Watch out, fans. So full count to fielder. And Kluber gets him to fight off another one. Three runs, 5 hits so far today for the Rangers. 2 of them home runs. You see, fielder has had some success in this ballpark. Maybe not quite on the order of Elvis Andrus, but still very good numbers. You watch his strike 3.
Another great pitch. A cut fastball that just touched the outside corner. Again, that's a pitch when you see it halfway to the plate, it's outside. And then right at the end, it just comes back 3 or 4 inches and catches the outside corner. It's too late to swing at it. You've already made the judgment that it wasn't going to be a strike.
Adrian Beltre 1 for 2 tonight. The plate, Beltre pretty much straight away on the infield. This one hit into the outfield, where Lonnie Chisenhall tracks it down near the foul line. In right field, 2 away. Tom, I want to go back to something we were talking about last inning. We were talking about David Ortiz. Well, we were kind of zigzagging around there a little bit on the Red Sox. The numbers for David Ortiz, we are right about to hit the 1/3 way through the season, are crazy. What would you say, at 23 doubles?
23 doubles and 47 RBIs, a third of the way through the season. And chances are it's going to be pretty difficult to duplicate those each third of the season. But even if he doesn't come close to those numbers, he's on pace to hit 30 home runs and knock in 100 runs. And that's going a lot less than he is right now. And I just don't know how you retire after having that kind of a season. Playing in Boston, it's a great organization now. They've got a chance to win. The fans love them. Practically run for office in New England. So unless he's got something he wants to do in his life, I don't know how he retires after a season that he's on the way to having.
2-1 to Mazara. It kind of begs the question, what is the greatest outgoing season in Major League history?
I have no idea, but I'm betting on this one for Ortiz.
Well, we were discussing it during the break, and the name that jumps to mind for me is Barry Bonds. Now, he didn't necessarily want to retire, and he was still going pretty strong there in his early 40s.
Yeah, and if he could have played in the American League as a DH,
right,
he probably would have been right in that class. So all decisions are subject to change, and everybody has the right to change their mind. We'll see what Big Papi decides to do.
Strike 3 to Mazara, and that is 6 punch-outs tonight for Corey Kluber. Sends us to the bottom of the 6th inning. Rangers lead by 3. Nothing Rangers. Hey, we're talking about all-star balloting. It's underway. Get online. Rangers.com. Vote Beltre. Get him in there. First pitch to Rajai Davis. A curveball in there for strike 1. How about this? Colby Lewis now 15 of the 18 batters he has faced. First pitch strike.
Very nice. And you know, we talk about this a lot too. It's one thing to throw a first pitch strike, but it's got to be an effective strike. If you just groove a strike for the sake of throwing a first pitch strike, then the guy might be on second base with a double or trotting around the bases with a home run. So it's more than just throwing a strike, it's throwing a good strike.
Bouncer just to the right of second base. Profar there, and there is one away. 77 pitches, pretty efficient.
So 1 inning, the third, he had to throw a lot of pitches. That's the inning where they had the 2 hits. Only 2 base runners, so 5 1/3 added on to 24 innings. Kobe has walked 1 batter in 29 1/3 innings.
Well, that's pretty good then.
That's pretty good. Yep. It's right up there with Clayton Kershaw. 5 walks all year. 105 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Santana 0 for 2 today. Taps that one right down to the dirt. 1-1. Now Lewis working into the 6th inning, as he is wont to do. Last time went just 5 innings and yet got the win. Now a chance tonight for Colby Lewis to go 5-0 for the first time in his career. It's 3 balls and a strike on Santana. And as you mentioned earlier, Tom, I mean, he is, in his first 10 starts, he has left with the lead in position to win 7 times, but only gotten 4 wins out of it. And there goes the walk to Santana. The next Throwback Thursday pin is a tribute to Rangers' first American League Championship victory in 2010. Be one of the first 10,000 fans in the park on Thursday, June 9th, to watch the Rangers take on the Astros and pick up this special collectible. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. 1 out and a man on. And here's Kipnis. Kipnis flied out to center field, lined out to left. And it is 1-1. This start tonight for Lewis, 186 as a Ranger. And that ties him with Kevin Brown, 5th most in franchise history. 2-1 now to the Indians' second baseman. Kipnis, good power, 270 average. Hitless in this series, though.
He'd like to have that swing back. That thing almost hit him. Might have hit him if he didn't swing at it.
That's not a good look.
No, he's got the pad on his leg, but that one either stung through the pad or missed the pad.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Santana, the runner at first. And this ball lifted high in the air down the right field line, but foul and well out of play. I was going to say with regard to Santana that he's not a huge threat to run, but that's not true. The Indians run about as aggressively as anybody in baseball, and Santana right there with him. He has stolen 3 bases in 4 attempts. Well, they do trail 3-0. The pitch down low, and it's a full count to Kipnis. Indians held the top spot in the American League Central for a long stretch there, but recently dropped 3 out of 4 to fall out of first place. Bouncer, diving stop by Andrews, up and over to first in time to get Kipnis. Hit and run was on, and the hole very nearly opened up for a really good reaction by Andrews.
Well, Santana on the 3-2 pitch was running. It's a good thing he was running, otherwise it would have been an easy double play. But a nice recovery by Elvis. Elvis is sneaking over to cover second, and that's why you don't just sprint over to cover second without having some idea where the ball's going. He waited long enough to where if he had to, he could have covered second, but not quickly enough to where he would have gotten there so soon the ball went by him. He waited and was able to make the play on it. Hard hit ball by Kipnis.
2 gone, and Santana out there in scoring position for Lindor, who takes a curveball for ball 1.
90 pitches for Kobe here in the 6th inning.
He's got 8 ground ball outs, 7 fly ball outs, and 2 strikeouts. Nice mix. Ball ripped but foul, and it's 1-1 on Lindor. Just the 2nd time tonight that the Indians have had a runner as far as second base. Last time was in the 3rd inning. So it happens those are the only 2 innings they've even had base runners. 1-1. Go down. Dangerous hitter Lindor. Though today, fly ball out, ground ball out. 0 for 2. And he takes strike 2.
Well, if you can throw that same pitch again, I would suggest trying it.
Activity now out on the Rangers pin. Yesterday, bullpen got a lift from Cesar Ramos, who went the last 3 innings after Holland's 6th inning start. And a backdoor curve just missed. Taking just a little bit more with each of these Indians hitters in this 6th inning.
I'd like to see Napoli hit with a couple of men on in a 3-run game, but I guess we're going to.
So after Colby Lewis had gone that long stretch of nearly 30 innings with just 1 walk allowed, he has walked 2 of the last 3 batters he's faced. Definitely showing signs of some fatigue here.
Napoli the last time up just got underneath one and skied it to right field.
Doug Brocale jogs out to buy a little time here for Colby Lewis. More balls than strikes thrown this inning by Colby. 13 balls, 9 strikes. See, that's a good line. How much of that was just a moment to get him a breather, and how much of that was real hardcore strategy on Napoli?
I would say the majority was for a little breather. Get your thoughts together. Maybe a little tip. But I think mostly long inning just to get your thoughts together.
Low, ball 1 to Napoli. Ball 2. Just have not seen a whole lot of each other over the years. Only 3 at bats prior to tonight. Santana's at second, Lindor at first with 2 away. And this one fouled straight back.
He had a pitch. He fouled it off though. Second long inning for Kobe. Had a 24-pitch inning back in the 3rd, and this will be a 26th pitch coming up in this inning.
Trying to get his team back up to bat as Napoli didn't like the long wait. You mentioned earlier he is a disciplined, difficult at bat, but he will strike out. 3rd most strikeouts in the American League this year. Napoli already with 69 of them. But hammers this one down to 3rd. Beltre had to backpedal. Has plenty of time. Retires Napoli. And it's another goose egg hosted by Colby Lewis. Mitch Moreland will lead it off in the 7th. Well, the 4-game summary. This should be simple. Third inning, Brian Holiday and his second dinger of the season. That followed the Hoying single. And then Jurickson Profar goes yard in the 5th. A 2-out blast. 3-0 Rangers. What you miss in that 4-game summary is the effort by Colby Lewis as he gets congratulations on the bench. 6 shutout innings. And he allowed just 2 hits. Another outstanding effort by the Rangers veteran right-hander. And now in the 7th inning, Mitch Moreland will lead things off against Kluber.
Yeah, Kobe had 4 1-2-3 innings, 4 quick innings, and 2 long innings. 2 hits in the 3rd, 2 walks in the 6th. But both times he made the pitches to pitch out of them. And looks like by the pat on the back, that will be it for Kobe. Somewhere between 95 and 100 pitches. 6 more innings and no runs.
And once again will leave a game in a position to win, as he has in 7 of the previous 10 starts this year.
Kobe had 2 starts against the Indians last year, gave up 14 earned runs in 7 2/3. Well, that's a nice comeback for him this year. He shut them down for 6 innings.
Tight to Moreland, and it's 3-1.
Kobe won 17 games last year. It was a terrific season for him. 10 or 11 starts through the season. It looks like he's better than ever this year.
Bouncer into that shift on the right side of the infield, and Napoli will make the play to Kluber covering the bag. 1 away. Kluber, it's kind of an oddity. He has started against the Rangers twice, and that was in 2013. Somehow the Rangers missed him in his Cy Young season of 2014, and they missed him again last year. And this year they draw him in the middle game of this 3-game series. But work with a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, he's pitching great today. 25 balls and 67 strikes. That's a lot of strikes. He just made a couple of pitches that the Rangers hit out of the ballpark.
Andrus with a roller up the middle. Lindor is there. 2 away. And he's had some quick innings too. His team yesterday scored 2 runs, but those came after the Rangers jumped ahead 9-0 after the first 4 innings. Today, Indians have scored nothing on just 2 hits. And this is an Indians team that, at least early in this season, has been pretty good offensively, but very good offensively at home. Not these last 2 days. Strike 1 in there to Hoying. One upstairs. Hoying pops it up. Might be playable for Gomes. Indeed, appears to have room. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Corey Kluber. They'll stand and stretch in Cleveland with the Rangers leading 3-0. We'll wrap up this series tomorrow evening here in Cleveland. Off day on Thursday, and then it all work will play right there. It's going to be a long stretch for this team, but at home for Seattle and the Astros, who seem to have put it together here lately.
That's a tough stretch.
Yeah.
Seattle's playing great. Houston's playing great. And Oakland played great against the Rangers. So that's a tough stretch in that month.
Right-hander Tony Barnett on in relief. Well, he's been good lately. This is 22nd appearance. His last 8 games, 9 scoreless innings. Strike one to Jose Ramirez, then Marlon Byrd and Lonnie Chisenhall in the 7th inning. 3-0 Rangers. Ramirez 0 for 2 tonight against Colby Lewis. And now in a hole 0-2. Tony Barnett. Sixth shutout. Rangers starter. It'll be up to the bullpen. Ball and 2 strikes. Barnett, 32 years old, making his big league debut this year after 6 years in Japan. Runs that one in, 2-2.
Ramirez, for a young player, has a good idea at the plate. He's walked 16 times and only struck out 15 times. Well, he'll make you throw the ball over the plate and then make some pretty good contact when you do.
Hits this one out into right field, base hit.
Pretty good pitch. He stroked that hard to right field, down and in. Dropped the head of the bat on that one. Hard. 300 hitter so far this year. Good reason why right there. Pitch that's pretty easy to golf foul down the right field line. The angle that the bat hit the ball kept it fair.
He's one of the young players they are really high on here in Cleveland. They like his game. They like his makeup, the way he goes about things, and
I can see why.
Yeah. Juan Uribe, one of the veterans they signed this year in the offseason. They brought him in largely to spend time with guys like Jose Ramirez.
Got a 381 on base percentage.
Been a tough night for Marlon Byrd after a 4 for 4 yesterday. Veteran right-handed batter. They play him straight up on the infield. Look over there. Ramirez was now running. It's 0-2. Byrd has been on this stretch lately where strikeouts have been an issue for him. They have been tonight so far. And there's the third. He strikes out 3 straight times. And we send it back to Dana Larson. She's back in the studios with another Chevy game break. Uh-oh. Thanks, Dana. So Bogaerts 0 for so far for the Red Sox. I wonder who has the next longest hitting streak on that team now. They just, every time you turn around, there's somebody with 20+ games going. Lonnie Chisenhall now 1 for 2 tonight.
They've got 3 guys in the top 5 in hitting. Bogarts, Ortiz, and Bradley all hitting above 330. So there's a lot of candidates.
Ramirez with a decent lead over there at first. Not going. And Chisenhall hits this one high in the air. Deep right. And that's not playable. 2-run homer by Lonnie Chisenhall, his first of the season. Just like that, the Indians are back in it.
That looked like a cut fastball, maybe, right in his power zone. Looked like a home run swing.
Well, that is a big swing for the Indians. Get them back in this game. It's now a 1-run contest as Yan Gomes stands in and pops this one foul out of play. You know, certain guys you're wary of. Previous batter Marlon Byrd was a guy you might be a little extra careful with. Lonnie Chisenhall hadn't hit a home run this year. There's no doubt about that one. 405 feet. The measurement on that home run. I think that's one of the things about this Indians team. They feel like they can stretch this lineup out a little bit. 2-1 to Gomes. Jake Diekman loosening up. A couple years ago, Chisenhall put up 13 home runs. He's not a huge power guy, but obviously has that ability. Now Barnett in danger of putting the potential tying run on for free. A big swing and a miss. This is a guy, just because of what he has been doing lately, you feel like there's a little pressure to make sure you get Yan Gomes. 0 for 2 today, 175 average coming in. Rajai Davis would be next. And there's ball 4. Enough to get the attention of Doug Brocail, Jeff Bannister. Rajai Davis batting 9th today, but he's dangerous. Can't take anything for granted in this spot. Talked about it earlier. The back into this Rangers bullpen since May 18th has done a great job, starting with Tony Barnett. Take the bigger picture, the full 52 games so far, and that has been the one concern for this Rangers team, has been the bullpen. Gomes over there at first. Strike 1 on Davis.
You talk about the things that stand out in baseball that don't always go true to form. Tony Barnett working on a nice scoreless streak. Chisenhall hadn't hit a home run all year. Scoreless streak ends. Chisenhall's home run drought ends.
Looking for a ground ball on the infield. And it's 0-2 to Davis.
Speaking of that's baseball kind of thing, Cesar Ramos had the save yesterday. He's had 2 saves in his career. Yesterday was a 3-inning save. His other save came almost 3 years to the day of the save yesterday. It was in Cleveland, and it was a 3-inning save. So he's had 2 3-inning saves in the same ballpark, just about exactly 3 years apart. Well, we'll count on one 3 years from now.
Yeah,
come back here for his 3rd one.
It's just like guys, you know what you're going to get when you run them out there every 3 years for a 3-inning save. Look out, that one's a little close on Davis. 2-2.
Yeah, Davis, his first reaction was, "Oop, I've got to get out of the way." Then his next reaction was, "It's a hanging breaking ball. I'm going to hang in there and let it hit me." You see him kind of go.
Yeah.
He moved out, and then he kind of moved back.
Full count now. So a walk to Yan Gomes. And now struggling to find it here against Rajai Davis. 2-run homer by Lonnie Chisenhall has gotten the Indians back in this one. Last of the 7th inning. Holiday gives him the signs. Barnett's payoff. And a bouncer, could be 2. Quick flip second for 1. The relay from Elvis. In time double play. So Barnett gets a twin killing and it ends the inning. But the Indians have made it a game as we go to the 8th. Sam Dyson and Ranger captain on June 8th. The Whataburger on Airport Freeway in Euless. Go to TexasRangers.com/appearances for more information. Well, we go to the 8th inning today in Cleveland. You see the Quicken Arena. And that is just over the left field wall, the left field corner there, and that's where the Cavs are preparing for the NBA Finals.
It's going to be tough for the NBA Finals to beat the last couple of games that the Warriors have won.
Yeah,
you don't even have to be a basketball fan to love those 2 games.
For a lot of fans, I think they thought that was the Finals.
It felt like it the way they were playing last night.
So here we go into the 8th. Ryan Holiday takes strike 1. He had the 2-run homer in the 3rd. I better be careful. That's not all that kind of Cleveland Cavalier fans.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely didn't mean it that way. You go through that kind of a series, down 3 games to 1. get through it and you feel great. You know, oh man, now we got to play LeBron. That's not going to be much easier.
This one bounces up there as Kluber works into the 8th inning. I already ruffled some feathers apparently here locally. I had a comment a little earlier about some barbecue here in town. There's a new barbecue restaurant here, and they line up outside, you know, well before the doors even open at 11:30. I know it was good barbecue. I just commented on Twitter that, you know, it's not Texas barbecue. You know, not quite to that level. Oh boy,
that's just a personal preference.
It's just an opinion.
What they do, tell you to go back to Texas and eat your own barbecue?
Well, the owner of the restaurant got all fired up. You get mad at me.
Well, that's what you get for playing the social media game.
You
stay off Twitter. People don't take shots at you.
Line drive left field.
Look at this
guy.
guy.
Drops in for Brian Holiday.
That must be a Ranger catcher. Yup, it is. Well, Brian's had some great at bats. 3rd straight game he's playing. I'd be smiling too, Brian. That line shot for a sac fly last night. A couple hits today.
All right, Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and this one was the Profar home run in the 5th inning.
Now, how the heck did the owner of that restaurant see your tweet?
I don't know. Believe me.
He must really be searching social media. Do you feel bad about it? Like,
no,
are you nervous about it or anything?
I have zero qualms with it.
I was going to try to soothe your mind if you needed it.
No, it's okay. Profar continues to hit, in particular in the leadoff spot with the Rangers. He's hitting every game now. He's played a nice second base as well.
Ooh, that was a good swing.
It looked like Gomes wanted that maybe just a smidge higher than Kluber delivered it to. No activity out in that Indians bullpen. A 3-2 ball game. Rangers won the opener yesterday 9-2. They won it up again, and Profar goes after it, and this one flipped out into left field. A diving effort out there by Marlon Byrd, but he couldn't get it. Everybody's safe, and the Rangers have the first 2 men on in the 8th.
Well, Marlon kind of came out of nowhere on that one. For half the ball flight, it looked like an easy base hit, and then right at the end, Marlon came flying into the picture and almost picked it right off the ground, hit off the tip of his glove. Brian Holiday has a home run and a single and a line drive to center field for an out. 3 good at bats against Corey Kluber. And Jurickson with a home run and a single now. Jurickson's hit in all 5 games that he's played in.
Desmond. Chance to add to the Rangers' lead. And he hits this ball hard out to right field. Chisenhall going back, and he'll take this one off the base of the fence. No, he won't. No one gets past him. Holiday in. Profar scampers home. A 2-run double by Desmond. Rangers lead it 5-2.
Boy, you talk about coming back and covering the 2 runs that Chisenhall provided in the bottom of the inning. Now come back to the top of the inning. Base hit, first pitch hitting. Ian Desmond just lines this shot, a hanging slider it looked like, right in the middle of the plate. Lined it over Chisenhall's head, and then it took a tough bounce for the Indians. Sometimes that ball will bounce right back to the outfielder. This one bounces towards center field, and both runs scored easily. Rangers still have nobody out. Desmond at second. He knocks in his 32nd run of the season, 31 and 32 of the season. He just continues to be one of the key Rangers.
Knocks Kluber out of the ball game. We'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. Brian Shaw has come on for Kluber.
Shaw's numbers don't look that great with a 5.40 ERA, but he's pitched a lot better in his last 19 games. He's only given up 3 earned runs. And he's been a workhorse since the start of 2013. He's first in the major leagues for most relief outings, 247. Averaging better than a strikeout per inning.
Well, he's on to face the heart of the Rangers order. And dumps one right in there for a strike to Fielder. We were talking about this earlier today, Tag, but Rangers with runners in scoring position, runners on base, however you want to slice it and dice it, they have come through.
Well, Ian has, coming into the game, 10 hits in his last 20 at bats with runners in scoring position. Add one to that with that double with men on first and second. Well, just a lot of fun watching him play the game. Plays with flair, athleticism,
intensity,
winning attitude, and he can help you win in all 5 of the tools, with all 5 of his tools. Above average runner, above average thrower, on his way to being above average center fielder. He's been a guy that has hit with power this year, hitting right almost at 300.
Fielder with a bounce over to the right side. Kipnis is there, and that's the first out of the inning. But Desmond moves over to third. And is 90 feet away with 1 out.
Yep, that's a good out. That runner to third. Give Adrian a chance to bring him in. Adrian's been swinging the bat really well with men in scoring position. Guy you want up there.
Already has 1 hit tonight. He's 6th in the league with a .382 average, runners in scoring position. Rangers would love to tack on an additional run right here. Take a little pressure off that pin, perhaps. Jumped out 3-0, then gave 2 runs back on a Lonnie Chisenhall homer in the 7th. Didn't waste any time getting those runs back again. Inside on Beltre, 2-0.
Shaw's one of those guys that steps toward third base, which probably helps him hide the ball to right-hand hitters especially well. And turns his shoulder, steps toward third base, and the ball comes out from behind his body.
3 balls, no strikes. More activity. Sean Armstrong. He was just recalled today by the Indians.
Yeah, poor Ryan Merritt. He made the mistake of throwing too well yesterday for too long. Pitched 4+ innings, and they needed another pitcher, and they sent him back. Wasn't going to be able to pitch for a few days. They needed another guy, so Armstrong's here and Merritt's gone.
Beltre hammers one out to center field. Long run, Davis. He won't get to it. That one bounces to the fence. Desmond in easily, and Beltre windmills his way around second.
I thought he was going to third.
So did he, briefly.
I love the way he does that. And he slams on the brakes. Boy, the Rangers just pounding the ball. Their offense is coming alive in this ballpark. It's a hanging slider right down the middle of the plate, center square, and he centers it to center field. Whoop, 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 whoop. Well, another base hit with men in scoring position. That one would have been a sacrifice fly even if the center fielder caught it. This goes down as another Ranger hit in a clutch situation.
Yeah, 2 for 4 in those spots tonight.
So the Rangers not only cover Chisenhall's home run in the bottom of the 7th, they add one to it.
Nomar hitless so far tonight. Corey Kluber pitched him tough.
Kluber came into the game with 3 earned runs and 14 in a third. A win at Boston, a win at Chicago. And the Rangers got him for 7 innings and 6 earned runs.
Shaw's come on to get the ground out, give up the double. Fall behind Mazara 3-0. Taking all the way. Well, hard to imagine who would get American League Rookie of the Month in May if it's not Mazara.
I don't know who the candidates are, but if there's one with a better record in the month than he, then that's a pretty good month. He's had a better month this month than he did in April.
Yeah. Well, he's got Beltre at second. And he stays alive 3-2.
There's not a huge number of frontline rookies playing every day in the big leagues at any given time. It's not like you're the player of the month for everybody. Although the month that he's had this year is very competitive with everybody else. You know, if he stays as consistent as he has been, could be looking at winning this a number of times.
Ooh, that one almost crossed up Lindor, but he stays with it, and they're able to retire Mazara for out number 2.
Yeah, that's something funny happened to that ball. I couldn't tell if it hit the base or just got some weird spin on it. Hit right behind the base, and he must have hit it right off the end of the bat or sliced it, because when it hit, it went from right to left. Lindor stayed with it and made the play on it. The ball hit and come down to Lindor's right. And shortstops have those quick reflexes, and no problem for him to make up for that hop.
So now 2 gone, and Moreland takes strike 1. On the American League, when you think about competition for Mazara, Byung Ho Park with the Twins, he's had a nice start so far. He hangs in there in some of the power categories. And the great rookies really are in the National League. The Trevor Stories, Corey Seager.
And no one was going to beat Story out in the month of April. His first week of the season would have carried him through to the month.
Two-way here in the 8th inning. Rangers have built up a 4-run lead. And that Bender misses a little low. They want an appeal, but nope. 2-1. Moreland looking for a multi-hit night tonight. He had a single back in the 4th. Three and 1. Moreland was just 3 for his last 38 coming into tonight's game. You said it earlier, talking about guys, the guys like Moreland, Fielder, who have the long track records, and you just hang with them because you know they'll come around eventually. And that one pulled foul. It's a full count. And it just so happened that that's exactly what occurred on Sunday back at Globe Life Park. Those two together.
Yep.
He got hot for 1 inning.
Won you a ball game.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They have that ability to do it every day. Jeff Bannister talking to the group of media today before the ball game sort of made the point that, you know, a guy like Fielder or Moreland in a lineup, even though they may have struggled, that they're a presence. They affect the way the opposition approaches the rest of the lineup, and
they still get a lot of respect from the opposing team. The opposing team can look at the batting average, but they also know the track record. And the presence in the lineup definitely affects the other team and the other team's pitcher when he pitches to those guys. It's not like he looks at them and says, boy, their average is down. These will be a couple of easy outs today. He's still bearing down out there trying to get them out. He knows what can happen with one bad pitch.
The payoff. And Moreland strikes out swinging to end the Rangers' 8th inning, but they picked up 3 more runs. They lead by 4 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Internet tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Cole Hamels, he's like a number of guys, really thrown the ball well on the road, and he'll be challenged with trying to slow down Mike Napoli in this Indians offense. Napoli due up 4th this inning. Let's see, he has been stalwart in this Indians offense. So left-hander. Able to go to school these last couple of days on the work done by Derek Holland and Colby Lewis, both of whom tossed 6 very good innings in their respective starts. Now as we go to the bottom of the 8th, Jake Diekman has come on.
Very nice season so far for Jake Diekman. He's pitched frequently and he's pitched well. ERA under 2. 23 strikeouts, only 5 walks, well over a strikeout per inning.
Deal with the top of the order. Carlos Santana, he's smooth. Take strike 1. 0 for 2 today with a walk. Diekman, 29 years old, from Wymore, Nebraska. It's his offseason home back in eastern Nebraska, as this one bounced by short and into left field. First hit of the night for Santana.
Santana got a slider that didn't slide quite as much as Jake wanted it to.
So now we'll go lefty on lefty with Jason Kipnis. Rangers turned a double play last inning, their first of the night. Their 72nd of the season, by far most in baseball. It's always interesting when you see the various shifts now when there are runners on base, just how committed teams will be to those shifts when they have spots where they could potentially turn a double play. In this case, Profar ends up setting up more toward the hole on the right side of the infield. As a general rule, at least he did on the first couple offerings to Kipnis. Kind of betting a little bit on which side you think that double play ground ball is going to be hit, and it is hit to the right side. Moreland will go to second for one, and Andrus back to first. Double play.
So the Rangers do what they do, and that's get double plays. Second straight inning they've gotten a double play. They got 4 of them yesterday. It's about as smoothly as you can turn a 3-6-3 double play. Mitch catches it, takes his time, throws a strike, and gets a strike returned right back to him.
A leadoff hit erased, and brings up Francisco Lindor, who is 0 for 2 with the walk. Colby Lewis went 6. Barnett through the 7th, and now Diekman trying to navigate this 8th inning. He's 1-1. Right off the end of the bat. Diekman very good at getting ground balls, also very good at getting swings and misses. Too many lefty relievers in recent years who can boast more strikeouts than Diekman. And he adds one right there as he gets Lindor to chase one in the dirt, and the strikeout ends the 8th. To the 9th we go. Rangers by 4. Right on. Thanks, Dana. It sounds like a busy show coming up. While the Rangers trying to finish one off here today in Cleveland. 6-2 lead as we go to the 9th inning. And just called up today, John Armstrong will make his season debut. Last year, made 8 relief appearances here in Cleveland, but at AAA Columbus put up some pretty good numbers, as you can see right there, in 16 appearances. So this is his 9th big league appearance tonight. Right-hander, 6'2", 225 pounds, and throws strike 1 to Elvis Andrus. Andrus hitless so far tonight, and that is news in these parts. In fact, I was thinking about that again today. He's played 29 games in this ballpark, and only once has he been held without a hit. And that was the final game the Rangers played here last year. He went 0 for 2. 2-strike pitch. And that's in the dirt. Andrus yesterday was 3 for 4, and that one at bat where he did not get a hit, he reached on an error. So he was all over the bases last night. And he sends this one out towards center field, drops in, base hit.
There you go.
There you go.
Bad day, 1 for 4.
Well, he'll have a chance to get back at him again tomorrow.
Good job on that high fastball. Lining it rather than hitting it in the air high. Elvis at his best when he's not hitting fly balls, hitting ground balls and line drives. So that's good to see.
Now 10 hits tonight for the Rangers. Jared Hoying now, who is 1 for 3. Fouls that one off his foot. Hoying went to the University of Toledo. Grew up in Ohio. And a lot of family and friends on hand today.
Now, Jared paid his dues in the minor leagues and was having his best minor league season. His OPS was close to 1,000. 959.
A 4-run lead. We'll see how it plays out in the bottom of the 9th inning. Some options out there.
I like both those options out there, whichever way it ends up.
I'd have to feel pretty good about both. Rangers are a season high 9 games over 500 coming into play today. 30 wins, 21 losses. They lead the American League West by a half game over Seattle, although Seattle put a pretty healthy whooping today on let me find it. There's a pitch outside, runner going, and Andrus in there with his 5th stolen base of the year.
I think with both guys warming up in the bullpen, Jeff Bannister, I think for the most part, will bring his closer into a 4-run game, even though it's not a save situation. So possibly Dyson's warming up if it stays at 6-2, but if the Rangers add to that, then possibly Matt Bush would come in.
One and one the count on Hoying. This one on the ground, up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Andrus with that stolen base, able to score on the Hoying single. 7-2 Rangers.
Well, the Jared Hoying family is cheering. I think that's them down. Well, I'm not sure where they're sitting, but I heard them. Yeah, nice job. Had a base hit and scored a run. Started a rally in the 3rd. and then drives in a run here in the ninth. Insurance run. Good game. 2 for 4.
That's a great day.
In front of your family, man, it doesn't get any better than that.
Now Brian Holiday, who's had a pretty good day himself. Takes strike 1. 2 for 3 with a homer. Couple of runs scored.
Now looking out at the bullpen, looked like Sam sat down. Matt's still throwing out there.
Well, Dyson with 26 relief appearances this year. That's an awful lot. Whereas Bush, which is 9 appearances, although he hasn't been up here quite as long.
Yeah, add that to what he had in Frisco, and he's probably had a good workload too.
Count stays 0-2 on Holiday.
But with Sam Dyson, I don't think it's the appearances as much as the pitches he throws per appearance. He's very efficient. There's a lot of appearances where he comes in and pitches an inning and only throws 11 or 13 pitches. And obviously, that doesn't take as much out of you as a pitcher who comes in and pitches 1 inning and has a long inning, throws 20+ pitches. Much different story.
Armstrong still looking to retire his first batter tonight. Gave up the single to Andrews and then the base hit to Hoying. And is 1-2 now to Holiday. That ball is lofted to straightaway center field. 1 away, and now back to the top of the order. Incidentally, individual Hyundai Club tickets include food and beverage and one of the best views at Globe Life Park, all in the comfort of air conditioning. Individual tickets are available in the Hyundai Club for select games this weekend, including Friday and Saturday. Hyundai Club tickets are available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Hoying still at first with 1 away. But he was running on the pitch. This one popped up near shortstop, grabbed by Ramirez, the third baseman, and they'll easily double off Hoying to win the inning. Oops, that didn't work. But the Rangers pick up another run. We'll see if they can finish it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. Lead, and Matt Bush will try to finish this thing off in the 9th. 10th appearance for Bush. Look at the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. I mean, the numbers are very good.
One of the things you love about Matt is you've got a guy that throws in the mid-90s, the hard slider, cutter, good curveball. He's only walked one batter in 9 innings. He's given up 1 run in 9 innings. He's been an excellent addition to the bullpen.
Well, Doug Bocale and Jeff Bannister talking about things down there in the dugout. Nice not to have to use Sam Dyson tonight. Bush can take care of his end of the bargain right here in the 9th inning. Colby Lewis, 6 shutout innings and 3 outs away from the first 5-0 start in his career. Some good heat right by Napoli for strike 1. Hitless so far tonight. Always dangerous, but good to see him up there right now with nobody on base. Got more heat, and it's 0-2. When we saw Bush in spring training, and we did not get to see a lot of it, what stood out was the good fastball and then this hard curve. It was so impressive. But he has since added a slider, which he has used maybe a little more than the curve. When he joined the big club here in the regular season, you're looking fastball curve. Instead, you're getting fastball slider.
Yeah, and that pitch, whether you want to call it a slider or a cutter, comes in at between 90 and 92 miles an hour. So that's really a tough pitch, especially when he locates it down and away to a right-hand hitter. There's not much you can do with it.
0-2, and there's the curve. Bounce down to third base. Beltre able to make the play, and there's 1 away in the 9th. Bring up Jose Ramirez. Ramirez singled his last time up in the 7th inning. And was on base when the Chisenhall homer left. That was the sum total of the Indians' offense today. Bouncer up the middle, and Profar can't quite get to it. So Ramirez is on with his 2nd hit of the night. Saying earlier tonight, Marlon Byrd had been having trouble with his strikeouts lately. Struck out the first 2 times tonight, and then at the time we mentioned that, he punched out again in the 7th inning. And he's on a little jag right now where he's striking out almost half the time he's up at the plate, something along those lines. Yeah, he's close to 40% of the time he's stepping in, at least in the last several weeks.
Well, so far today's game's not going to help improve that very much.
And facing a guy here in Matt Bush, who, before it's all said and done, is going to rack up his share of strikeouts. He has wipeout stuff. With this one lined in the left, base hit for Marlon Byrd.
That one just hung up there. It didn't break much. That was a curveball, but never really curved. He swung and missed at the 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but that one just served as like an 84-mile-an-hour good pitch to hit. Allowed him to get the head of the bat out there. It's right down the middle of the plate. That's a pitch Matt hasn't thrown that pitch very often. Usually his curveball is breaking sharply down and out of the strike zone. Bird got one to hit and took advantage of that one.
And here comes Doug Brocail. Bush was lining up the pitch. And Brocail was out there to stop things first, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. Mentioning last inning that the Mariners won again today to stay, or at least for the moment, in a virtual tie with the Rangers. They beat up on the Padres 16-4. 5 Mariners hitting home runs. Astros beat the Diamondbacks 8-5 today in Arizona.
One thing that's going to make the Mariners tough to pitch to is Adam Lind starting to get hot. Early in the season, Adam Lind wasn't hitting anything. In fact, he was getting benched every now and then. Now he's hot. We add him to Cano, who's one of the hottest hitters in the league, Nelly Cruz and Seager.
Hard smash by Chisenhall. That one through for a base hit. Ramirez scores from second. That's a 7-3 ball game.
First pitch hit it. Pretty good pitch. Fastball, borderline pitch on the outside corner. Yanked it into center field. Hit that ball well. Go for Chisenhall. He'll be there. Well, I don't know if he really gets it left.
Here comes Jeff Bannister.
It's a save situation.
Fortunately, saves spot. So that will be the end of the evening for Matt Bush. And Dyson will make his way in. We'll make our way out. Back with Dyson in just a moment. At second, Chisenhall at first, and only one out in this 9th inning. It's his 27th appearance of the season. Dyson has issued just 1 run in 5 innings with 7 strikeouts in the last 5 games. 1.69 ERA. Since being named the closer, he has converted all 3 save opportunities. Yan Gomes, it's been a struggle for him, although he did walk in the 7th inning, an 0-for-2 night for the Indians catcher. He's up there hacking. A good fastball from Dyson, strike 1.
97 on our gun, 98 on the stadium gun.
Infield pinched in near second base and a step shallower than usual, hoping for a potential double play ground ball. 0-2 the count on Gomes. Last night's game ended on a double play grounder off the bat of Yan Gomes. That was the 4th yesterday. Rangers have turned 2 today. Gomes will see another pitch. .175 average for Gomes this year. He hits this one on the ground. Moreland will go to second for 1. But Elvis holds on to it. Dyson was racing over to cover first base, but no attempt at the double play. There are 2 out.
Yeah, you can just forget about the guys on base. They don't make any difference. Basically, you let them score, you've got a 2-run lead, so you're concerned about the guy in the on-deck circle is the key guy. Because that's the tie, could be the tying run. You want to keep this guy off base so the tying run doesn't come to the plate.
Well, 2-way now. Davis had a single back of the 3rd inning. He's hit the last couple of balls. Right to Jurickson Profar at second base. Bird at third base. Gomes at first for the Indians, who have struggled on this homestand. They have lost 3 of 4. But just a handful of days ago, we're leading the American League Central Division. The Kansas City Royals have since taken over that spot and built a game-and-a-half lead on the Indians. 1-strike pitch. Dyson ahead 0-2.
That's a 92-mile-an-hour changeup. Pretty good when you throw a ball sinking at 92 miles an hour and have the hitter be out in front of it and fooled by it.
0-2. Got him swinging.
There it is again.
Dyson with yet another save, and the Rangers for the first time this year 10 games over 500. A 7-3 win over the Indians, and they have won another series on the road as well, with a chance to sweep tomorrow. All around, another very solid ball game by the Texas Rangers. Bats have been rolling in this series. Defense has been good. Pitching pretty stingy. Sixth save of the year for Dyson. Colby Lewis, for the first time in his career, begins the season 5-0 with his 6 shutout innings. Pitching did its job again. Home runs from Brian Holiday, Jurickson Profar. And then the late inning runs. Those insurance runs, 3 in the 8th, another in the 9th inning. Long way toward the victory tonight. Rangers have won 4 straight and will hold on to that half-game lead in the American League West going into tomorrow's finale. Meanwhile, the struggles continue for the Cleveland Indians. So the Rangers at 31-21, and once again, the hero wearing the tools of ignorance right there. Brian Holiday, congratulations on the win. Nice ball game today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Colby Lewis today and what was working well for him.
Man, Colby went out and did what Colby does. He went out there and gave us a quality start and gave us a chance to win the game. I mean, he is what he is. He goes out there, he competes, he throws strikes, he mixes it up, and he does it well.
Brian, you're facing one of the toughest right-handers in the league in Corey Kluber, and you just went up there the first couple of times, didn't waste any time, and hit the ball right on the good part of the bat. Have you faced him before?